They didn't live in caves. Caves would have killed them. So where did ancient humans actually go for the winter? 30,000 years ago, winter was a death sentence. 6 months of darkness, 6 months of frozen ground, 6 months when nothing grew, nothing hunted, nothing moved. Half of every tribe died before spring. Half. Every single year. If you were born in November, your odds of surviving until April were 1 in 3. If you broke a leg in December, you were dead by January. If your fire went out for one night, your entire family was gone by morning. But somehow, your ancestor survived 50 winters like this. He did it without a heater, without a coat from the store, without a single grocery bag of food, just his hands, his brain, and the people he loved. This is how he did it. Forget what you have seen in movies. Ancient humans did not live in caves through winter. Caves are wet. Caves are cold. Caves have dripping water that freezes at night. If you slept in a cave for 6 months, you would have hypothermia by week 2. You would have pneumonia by week 4. You would be dead by Christmas. So what did they actually live in? In Ukraine, archaeologists found something incredible. A house made of mammoth bones. The walls were 95 mammoth jawbones, stacked into a circle. The roof was tusks, curved together at the top, covered in animal hides. The floor was packed with dirt and ash for insulation. A single fire pit sat in the center. It was warmer than your apartment. It took 3 years to build one. The bones came from 20 different mammoths. A whole village would work together for an entire summer just to prepare winter shelter. In Siberia, they did something different. They dug a hole into the ground, 3 meters deep. Then they put a roof of branches on top, covered the whole thing in dirt, and made an entrance through the floor. The earth itself was the insulation. These pit houses stayed at 15 degrees Celsius all winter, even when it was -40 outside. That is colder than Antarctica. Your ancestor was a better engineer than you think. The next problem was food. In summer, food was everywhere. Berries, roots, animals, rivers full of fish. In winter, the world was empty. No berries, no fish. The animals migrated south or hibernated. The ground was frozen rock. So all summer, every single person worked on storing food for winter. Children, women, the elderly, everyone. If you didn't help store food, you didn't eat in February. They smoked meat over fires for weeks until it could last 6 months. They fermented fish in pits until it became a thick paste. They stored bone marrow in clay pots, sealed with animal fat. They buried whole reindeer carcasses in frozen ground. The original freezer. The most important food was something you have probably never heard of. Pemmican. It was dried meat, ground into powder, mixed with fat and dried berries. It would not spoil for years. It had every nutrient a human needs. A handful could keep you alive for a day. This was the original survival ration. But sometimes the food ran out. When it did, the tribe had 3 choices: eat the dogs, eat the dead, or eat each other. We have found the bones to prove all 3 happened. Knife marks on human bones, in caves across Europe, the hungriest months in human history. Without modern clothing, a naked human dies in 30 minutes at -10 degrees. So your ancestor invented something incredible: layered fur clothing. He stitched together rabbit fur, wolf fur, and reindeer hide. 3 layers. Inner layer touching the skin, fur facing inward to trap body heat. Middle layer for insulation. Outer layer waterproof, fur facing outward to shed snow. This is the same design used in modern Arctic gear today. Patagonia, North Face, every brand you know. He invented it 30,000 years ago. The needles he used to stitch them were carved from bone. Some were thinner than your sewing needles at home. A single coat took 2 months to make. But clothing alone was not enough. At night, the entire family slept in a single pile, naked, under a heap of furs. Body heat was the only thing that kept them alive until morning. Babies slept against their mother's bare skin. If a baby got too cold, they wrapped him in heated stones from the fire. Too hot, burns killed him. Too cold, hypothermia killed him. The mothers knew the exact temperature by feel. If you had a bad day, you slept alone. Your ancestor slept on top of his family, or he died. In the middle of every shelter burned a fire, 24 hours a day, 6 straight months. If the fire died, you died. So somebody always had to watch it. Children, old people, the injured. The youngest fire watcher in some tribes was 3 years old. He sat by the fire while his parents hunted. A 3-year-old, with the lives of his parents in his hands. He learned to read flames the way you learn to read words. 30,000 years without a single match. Just sticks, stones, and the discipline to never let it die. By February, everything was breaking down. Without fresh fruit, scurvy set in. Teeth fell out. Old wounds reopened. The depression was worse. Some tribes reported people seeing things that were not there, hearing voices in the wind, walking out of the shelter and never coming back. When the food was almost gone, old people walked into the snow. On purpose. To save the food for the children, Inuit hunters found their grandparents sitting peacefully in the snow, frozen, smiling. It was the most loving thing an old person could do. So how did ancient humans survive winter? They built homes from bones. They slept naked in piles to share heat. They watched the fire every minute of every day. And when nothing else worked, the old ones walked into the snow so the young ones could live. You complain when your heater breaks for one day. Your ancestors survived 50 winters like this. Every single one of them. That is why you exist.